All right, so I have been working on the Boondocker, getting ready to get it installed under the Rum Runner. And just keep in mind, I've been looking for a water storage solution for quite some time, and this is going to provide me with 14 gallons of water storage stored in the location where my spare tire used to hang. I don't have a spare tire there anymore. I have a spare tire on the swing out on the back of my bumper, and now that space can be put to use again. That's a fantastic option. A lot of you have done something similar. Maybe you're still carrying the old factory spare, and you also have a spare on your rear swing out or somewhere else on the vehicle, maybe on your roof rack. Get rid of that thing under the vehicle and get yourself a Boondocker so you can have water storage on demand when you need it under the vehicle. Let me show you what I've done so far to get it prepped for installation. It's a little dark out here. I'll adjust that if I can. So this is the Boondocker, 14 gallons of water storage that's going to go underneath my vehicle. This is going to be the entry point for the water. This is an air vent. It's just a hose valve that I have taken the core out, and I'm using that for an air vent. I'm going to put an extension on that so I can keep it away from mud and debris. 1/2-inch hose goes on this barb that will go to my fill point. Stay tuned for what that looks like. On this side, the opposite side, is the exit point. That 1/2-inch barb is going to go to my pump. It's lower, so obviously gravity will help me to get the water out of the tank to the pump so that it can be routed to the spigot that I'm putting on my rear bumper. Now, a lot of people do something different. A lot of people will have hoses inside their vehicle, maybe a hose reel that they pull out, or maybe a quick disconnect in their vehicle. So you have to open the swing outs, you have to open the rear of the vehicle, and then you have to connect or pull the hose out to get water. I don't want it to be that difficult when I want to get water, because a lot of times I'm out in the woods somewhere, I'm at the beach, or I'm traveling, and I just want to get some water real quick to wash my hands or to rinse something or rinse my feet off. So I want to be able to jump out of the vehicle, go right to the back of the vehicle, and turn the water on. And that's what I'm working to accomplish. So tell me what you think about the setup that I'm going to put together as I move forward. So water spigot and fill both attached to the rear swing outs of the Rum Runner. We'll see what you think. Okay, so it's Saturday morning now, Saturday afternoon. Friday evening is when I was working on getting my Boondocker, getting it all fitted up with the parts so I can figure out what I'm doing. So now I'm under the vehicle. I'm trying to figure out where I want to mount my pump. And let me show you what I got going on here. So there's a lot happening under here. So basically the Boondocker is going to mount here, right there. Yeah, now you can see my fingers. That is the spare tire cable. Here are some old air hoses. Not old, I mean, I'm still using them. Air hoses that I need to route better, but I didn't want to trim them at the time. Maybe I need to trim them now. But ultimately, I think in order to figure out where to place my pump, I need to get the Boondocker up in here first, and I can finish plumbing it out after that. Right now, I'm not exactly sure how much space that thing's going to take up. I mean, obviously I could measure it, but I think I'm going to lower this down, put the Boondocker in here, and then crank it back up, and then gauge where I can put the pump. I think I got plenty of room to put it in different places. I'm just not sure where I want to put it yet, so we're going to see. Okay, so this is what I'm doing. I am going to go ahead and mount the Boondocker up underneath my vehicle. I've decided to go ahead and just add this extension to my air vent. I'm going to figure out where I'm going to route that when I get it under there, just to get it as high as possible. I am going to connect my hoses once I get it under there. You know what? After I size everything up and really just lay it all out, I may drop this thing back down and work on it on the ground, and then hoist it back up again. So this is what I'm doing. So I've got the medium ring, the support ring. Basically, it's going to go on the bottom side of the boondocker, just like that, and then the hoist itself will pull against that, just giving it some added stability and strength, so that none of that stuff is gouging into the plastic or the polymer here. So that's what that's about. I'm going to hang it up there right now and let you see what I'm doing. Yeah, this is a mess, but I'm almost done. So let me show you what I've got going on. I've got my spigot here. This is just temporary. Then again, I may leave it like that. I'm actually thinking about moving it to, well, I'm not certain. I'm thinking about moving it here. But for now, I don't want to drill another hole. I just made that hole a little bit bigger, and put that there. And over here, let me show you what I did. Here is my fill place right here, city water fill. I'm not gonna have a gravity fill right now, I'm just doing that. And I'm about to connect the pump to electricity and fill this thing up with water. We're gonna see what happens. Okay, I'm doing my first fill up of my tank, of my boondocker. We'll see how it goes. So while it's filling up, I need to check and see if we have any water leaking anywhere underneath. So let's go check that. So right here you can see the entry point to the boondocker, and everything is good. I got myself a little bit of slack here. If I ever need to let this thing down, I'm just going to take the hose clamps off. I didn't want a lot of tube just bouncing around under here. You can hear water's going in there. Let's go over to this side and look at the vent. Oh, no, it's on this side. I forgot what side the vent's on. Okay. Here's the vent. It's tucked up in here out of the way. As soon as we see water, I need to tuck it up better than that. As soon as we see water coming out of that, it will be full. I can feel air coming out of it, which is exactly what you want. That's the whole point of this, to let air out of the tank. I bet I can do this. Check that out. I mean, it's already staying in there good. Okay, so that's what we're gonna do. We'll see if it'll stay in there. And you see the water hose routes through here, it comes out above the back bumper, and I've got the fill line mounted to my swing out on the passenger side. So I'll tell you what, let's pull this back out. Once I see a little water squirt out of there, we can call this thing full. So 14 gallons of water times, what is that? 8 pounds a gallon. So that's 80 pounds plus another 32. What are we, like 112 pounds? Is that good math? 8 times 14, is that 132? No, that's not right at all. 8 times 14, so 8 times 10 is 80, and then 8 times 4 is 32. 80 plus 32 is 112. 112 pounds plus the weight of the boondocker itself, and I've already forgotten again how much it is, but it's not unsubstantial to carry around 14 gallons of water with you, and that's why it's important to get it as low as possible. 14 gallons of water is going to last me forever. That is fantastic news. It's exactly what I needed. It's almost done. Now it's full. No, he's right here in the bushes.
A corn snake, are you sure?
Yeah, he came out of this. He came out of the water spigot. He was underneath the.
That's the good kind, right?
Yeah. Look at him, how pretty he is. He's all posed up.
Wait, let me hold him.
Hold on a second. Get away from here, Rona.
Hey, I got a mask on.
His mouth is so tiny. He can't
So
possibly
little.
hurt you, you know.
Keep the light on him. I'll take a picture. Hold on.
Don't let Marcy out here. Don't let Marcy out here.
Oh, let him go. Let me get him. Oh, he's fast. There he goes.
He's gone.
Right. Oh! He turn around.
Oh, he's right here in the bushes. Look how fast he got up in the bushes.
Dad, if you yank him back at me, I'll kill you. Are you about to? What was that? He's got a corn snake.
It was in the water hose, Jen.
I just heard them screaming, so I came out.
Don't let Marcy over here.
He's trying to yank her around. What are you trying to do with it?
I want to hold it.
I want to hold it too, but I'm trying to bite me.
It's got such a tiny little mouth.
Look, Shelby, what jumped on me in this chair.
Hold on. Too many people are talking.
Touch him.
A corn snake.
Oh, he's been attacked by a cat.
It's gone. Okay, it's dark out here, but I'm gonna go through this anyway. I'll do it again in the morning. So I've got my tank full. Let's just see. Am I had a leak here? I don't think. Is it leaking? I'm gonna have to watch that. It's immaterial right now because that only should matter when it's getting filled. This is my water spigot. See, right now, nothing because I don't have the pump on. So this is a pressure sensitive pump. So once I energize the pump, it should come on and theoretically fill the line with pressure, and then the pump should shut off. And then whenever I turn the spigot on, we should hear the pump come on and water should come out of the spigot. So let's check it out. So I've just got a button right inside the window here. Energize the pump. Right. Let's see what happens. What's going wrong here? There we go. See, the pump is doing its thing so quiet. That's exactly what I wanted. I didn't even realize it was on. I thought I was hearing the refrigerator. Okay, so theoretically, there we go. It's got to, I'm sure it's got to get all the air out of the line, and we'll let it pump for a while again. Gotta put the cover back up in the jack there, but I'll see what happens. There's no kinks in the line. I'm just gonna let this run for a while and see what happens. Let me get under here and check things out before it gets so wet down here that I don't want to. So this is the exit. Oh, there is sort of a kink in there. There we go. I got a kink in the line somehow. Okay, let me fix that. I fixed my kink. Pump is still energized. Let's turn it on now. As soon as you turn off the water, pump turns off. Pump turns off. That is pretty cool. Pretty cool. And then come over here, I can turn the power to the pump off. No water lost. So if I'm riding around and I'm afraid that this thing could jostle open, and obviously you can get better hose bibs than that, but I just kind of like the look of this one. If I want to make sure water doesn't come out while I'm driving around, I can just turn off the power to the pump. No harm, no foul. And then when I'm ready to have water, all I gotta do is throw down the back glass, energize this bad boy. I'm loving it already, people. I'm loving it already. Actually, let me do this. I'm gonna do a better walkthrough of this in the daylight, but I was too excited not to film it right now. Okay, so it's early Sunday morning. I worked on this project last night, getting the boondocker connected to the rum runner until, finally when I called it a night, it must have been after 9, but I got everything done that I needed to for my first iteration. I want to show you what we got accomplished in the light of day, because some of the footage I got last night, while I was excited to show, it was kind of hard to see in the dark. Let me show you what we've done here. All right, so this is the exit point for my water. It's just a regular hose bib connected to a 1/2-inch hose that routes down behind the bumper, goes to the bottom of the vehicle, and connects to the fill side, or excuse me, the exit side of the boondocker. See if we can get a little bit of that on camera. So you see the boondocker under there. The tube is coming out of the exit side, the lowest point of the boondocker. There's also a vent, and that's on the opposite side. Let me show that to you. On this side, get it in focus here, this side we have the fill point and an air vent. And the fill point routes to here. Just got a regular city RV fill point. This is available on Amazon, and it's not unique. There are other people doing similar stuff. Some of the things are a little special for me, but very similar stuff that a lot of different projects are doing. I'm not really happy with this. I want to tuck that down better, but because of the short distance, I found that I had a kink in it. And I'm just gonna have to rework that a little bit. That's later. Right now the thing's full, and to overcome the kink, if I scoot it around, I can just open the swing out, and then there's no kink while I fill. Once I fill it, who cares if there's kink? Anyway, so the pump is mounted right in here. It's a C-Flow 12-volt pump. I believe it is 3 to 5 gallons per minute. There's some adjustment in there, and it is energized by, let me open the swing out here just so I can show you. I could reach it without opening the swing out. This energized over here. This is my 12-volt system. I have 500 amp hours of lithium power. I know that's overkill, but I just wanted to see how much I could keep and store in the vehicle at all times. Let's move that. So this is a box I made for it, and I use a Red Arc BC to DC charger, and I also have a monitor made by Victron that I use to keep track of everything on my phone. This is the Blue Sea fuse panel that I use to power everything that I run power off of right now. I've just got my fridge going from DFG Off-Road, and this is the button that energizes my pump. Okay, so now the pump's energized. No water's coming out. Once I release the pressure, water comes out. Turn off the pressure, pump turns off. Let me show you again. Pretty stinking cool. So, things that I'm thinking about is I want to see that specific hose bib that I chose. I mean, it turns very easily, and I like that. It's just simple. You can bump it with your hand and turn it on. So when I'm cooking something out on a camping trip, or my hands are nasty, I've got steak all over my hands from some steaks I seasoned up, I can just bump it with the top of my hand, much like a kitchen restaurant sink. I can get water out, wash my hands, and I can close it back. But that ease of use also makes it possible that if I have that thing energized and I'm driving down the road, I think that the valve could pop open, just, you know, just from vibrations or bumps of the road. So I'm gonna have to watch that very closely. So we'll test that. We'll test that. I'm going on a road trip this in the next couple of days, but it's mainly highway driving. And that's not gonna be an adequate test. I really need to do some off-road trail riding tests with this to see if it is in fact necessary, here's a big hawk flying by, for me to keep the pump turned off, or if I can leave it energized and that thing will stay closed while I'm driving around. And if it doesn't, and I find that that's important to me to have it energized at all times, then I can also just get a more rigid, regular hose bib at home that takes some effort to open. And then there's also the issue of if I have it energized all the time and somebody walks by it while I'm parked up somewhere, all the birds going crazy this morning, and I'm parked up somewhere, somebody could just turn on the water, and you know, people do the things like that, right? I don't want someone just to be able to turn on my water and empty it while I'm in a store somewhere, at a rest area or something like that. So anyway, all in all, this is extremely simple. I am very happy. So there's where the fuel point routes in the back of the swing arm. Let me show you this one too while we're at it. There's the back of the exit point, all of my water. I'm very, very happy with this. Okay, so I'm doing some testing on my Boondocker setup. I've got it fully installed now. Been riding around with it for a few days, and now I want to see two things. How long will it take me to fill it up completely? And then after it's completely full, how much run time, or how much time does it take to fully drain it if I have my spigot open 100%? So we're going to test both of those things right now. So I'm going to time it while I fill it, and I'll show you the stopwatch on camera. And then after that, we're going to time it while it runs dry. And I've got some ideas about how I could extend that, but let me just show you what I've got right now.